Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we'll be making a one-sided of the shoulder fitted top with bishop sleeves with a high-low or waterfall skirt. I have a tutorial on my channel on how to make this skirt. I'll leave the link in the description. So if you'd like to see how this top was made, then keep watching. For this project, I'll be working with this beautiful Ankara print, the basic bodice pattern for a small size, and my pattern drafting paper. My pattern paper is folded in half. I'll go ahead and trace out the basic block. You can as well cut directly on your fabric. I have traced out the block, and here I'm marking the bust point level and the half length level. The half length of this bodice is 15 inches, but the half length I'm working with is 14 inches, which is what I'm marking here. On this line, I'm going to place the bust span of 3.5 inches, and on that point, I'm going to place half inch on both sides of this point for the dart legs. On the dart line, I'm going to come down from the bust point by half an inch and draw in the dart legs. With my tape placed on the shoulder, I'm going to come down at 20 inches for the full length of this top, and I'll square out this point. From that line, I'll go up by 2 inches, and from that 2 inches level, I'm going to place my bust span of 3.5 inches, and I'll draw in the lower dart legs. On the half length level, I'm placing 1/4 of the waist circumference, and on the hip level, I'm placing 1/4 of the hip circumference as well. On the bust level or armhole level, I will place 1/4 of the bust measurement, and with these 3 points, I will draw in my side seam. So guys, I've done that, and I've also indicated my bust dart. On the center front, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and on the neck width, I went out by half an inch. On the lower side of the top at the side seam, I came up by half an inch and connected that point back into the hemline just to soften that area and prevent any squarish kind of corner there. I'll go ahead and add my seam allowances and cut out this pattern. I have cut out my pattern, and I have indicated the left and the right side. I want my off shoulder on the left side, so on my right shoulder, I'm going to go out by half an inch from the neckline. I've already marked 1 inch for my center neck depth, and on the shoulder of the left, I'm going to come down by 2.5 inches, and with these points, I'm going to draw my new neckline. This is what my neckline looks like. I've added my seam allowance, so I'll go ahead and cut it out. So guys, we've completed the pattern of this top. We'll be using the same pattern to cut the back panel as well. I've folded my fabric in half. I will also pin my pattern in half and cut out for the front and back panel. You can also open up the pattern and cut, but my back panel has a zipper at the center back. I have cut out my pattern, and the back panel has a zip extension on the center back. I'll close this bust dart on the front panel so that I can trim it off on the back, because we don't have any bust dart on the back panel. So I'm going to align the waistline of the front and back panels, making sure the center front of the front and the center back of the back panel are on the same line. I'm going to mark the difference on the back panel, and I'll trim that off. So guys, to be sure that our side seams are equal, I'm going to measure the side seam of the front panel with the bust dart closed and compare it to that of the back panel. My front panel measured 13 inches, while on the back measured 13 inches as well, so we are good to go. On the waistline of the back panel, I'm going to come in by 1/2 inch to remove any bulge or fold. I'll connect that point back into the center back line and redraw my 1-inch zip allowance. So guys, I've pinned the front and back panels together, and as you can see, the right side of my fabric is facing up. The reason for this is to have the one off shoulder on the side where you want it to be. If I cut with the wrong side of the fabric facing up, when I open the fabric, the one off shoulder is going to be on the right. So it's important you cut your fabric with the right sides facing upwards. I'll use the front as a template to cut the back panel. I have here the zipper, the 2 bands for the bishop sleeve. The sleeve band measured 9 inches and the full length measured 11 inches. On fold measured 5.5 inches. Then I have the 2 sleeves, then the front and the back panel. I inserted this picture to illustrate how I cut the sleeves. I didn't get that on camera. It's very easy. So I'll start by stitching close the darts on the front and back panel. So guys, this is what my bodice looks like. I'll go ahead and attach the front and back panels on the shoulder. I will attach the sleeves and I'll stitch close the side seams. The sleeves has been attached. I will run a basting stitch around the hem of the sleeve, gather it back to 9 inches, the band circumference. This 9 inches includes seam allowance. Then I will attach the band to the sleeve. The total length of my band is 11 inches with seam allowance. On fold measured 5.5 inches. So guys, I've attached the band and this is what our bishop sleeve look like. It's just a simple minimal bishop sleeve. No too much drama. So we'll move on to attach the zipper at the back. I'm using a regular zip for this dress. It's not an invisible zipper, so I'm going to attach it in a way that the teeth will be hidden when the zip is closed. The first thing I do is to iron the zip allowance to have that crease. I'll place the crease of the zip allowance on the zip like so to cover the teeth of the zip, and I'll pin that in place. The crease of the zip allowance must not cross over to the other side of the zip. It has to be on top of the teeth of the zip. Remember, we're still going to attach the other side of the bodice to the zip. So you just follow along the way I am doing it. The crease of the zip allowance must be on the teeth of the zip, and you must do this with the zip closed. So guys, I've pinned my zip in place and this is what it's looking like. You can see that small extension there. That is what covers the zip. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and attach it with a straight stitch before we attach the other side of the zip. The zip has been attached on this side. Now I'm going to attach the other side by laying the crease of the zip allowance very close to the teeth of the zip, and I'll pin it in place like so. You can see that we already have that invisible effect. The teeth of the zip is properly hidden. So the crease of this zip allowance is going to be your guide. You're going to align it close to the teeth of the zip and pin. If you're attaching a zipper on a fabric with lines or stripes, you must ensure that the lines on the fabric matches. This makes your work more organized and gives that zipper the invisible effect. Before I attach this zip, I'm going to zip it close to ensure that the lines on my fabric matches and that the teeth of the zip is properly closed. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm going to attach this with a straight stitch, after which I will go ahead and give it a good press. So guys, I've attached the zip. On this side of the zip that covered the teeth of the zip, I'm going to run a straight stitch to secure it in place. This remaining part of the zip, I'm going to cut that off. I'm also going to trim off the teeth of the zip on the seam allowance line. I have cut out this strip to pipe the neckline. The width of this strip is 2 inches and the length is the circumference of the neckline. I'll top stitch on the zip to secure it, then I'll pin it in place around the neckline with the right side of the strip to the wrong side of the neckline, and I'll go ahead and attach it with a straight stitch. So guys, I've attached the bias to the neckline and I'll be folding it over like so to top stitch. But before I do this, I will trim down the seam allowance on the bias side to reduce the bulkiness around the neckline, so that when I fold over and top stitch, our neckline is going to be flat and not bulky. And voila, our top is complete. This top was so cute on my client. Unfortunately, I do not have any picture to show you guys, but trust me, it came out just perfect. You can see how the teeth of the zip is covered, giving us that invisible zip effect. This combo was made for 2 sisters. One has the top and the other the skirt, but the good thing is that both sisters are of the same size, so they can always share. That brings us to the end of this tutorial. If you find it helpful, do not forget to like, share, comment, leave all your questions and suggestions in the comment section, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all in my next one. A bientôt!